So they are the most well armed and the most well trained and the most effective troops in Ukraine, but they are not deployed most uh, uh, often because most of the time it's just not suitable for them, and they are not exact like they do some missions, and then the moment they pull out, the front line collapse, like, and then even when they do missions, even they are so well trained, they take losses. So it's not it is and I think they have some others like the Azov unit. The Azov brigade is probably the main one that they will give a bit more, but the reality is that they don't have much. Because I think even the units that was supposed to the story about the ones trained in France, like they have all the units, they have all the equipments, but then before all the equipments come, the equipments get divert, as detachment to the front line to fight immediately, and then they never have a full unit. So by the time they have enough men, it will be a mechanized infantry with no mechanized, like they have no armor.
Well,
They are
but yeah,
just
but
infantry.
they're still getting plenty of kit from Europe and to the United States, right? So it's not that they're not getting enough kit; it's that they just don't have the men, right? Because how many
Yeah, recruitment is
billions?
a problem, I guess. I think, but I from what I heard from my source, from Nikki, uh, that's why he called himself on the open mic. The the he told me about the situation in Sumy region. It's very bad. Like the soldiers, how what they are armed with, they're really really under equipped. The troops are very under equipped. Now, of course, I don't think I'm not saying like across the board everyone is under equipped, but certain units that is being deployed is very under equipped. So, and it probably severely undertrained, like not trained at all, probably. So the situation is quite bad, and the clear thing is that the Russians are not forcing their will on the Ukrainians. Also, they're not pushing as hard as they could. So that's the feeling that I get. Like, how can you have troops in the middle of Kupiansk and then no offensive to try to conquer the place? Similar for Pokrov, if you can DRG go in, you can have 10 times more units going in, but they're not doing that. So
Yes, well, yeah, I don't understand that. So because Pokros seems like it was like a fortress city, right? So it was a large urban area, right, that had several roads in and before that it had several ways to get in and out, right? It was a hub to some extent. It had so how did all these what do you call these the sabotage units again? What's the acronym for them? Whatever they
DRGs.
DRGs. But then they ended up like at one point they were literally walking around in like the city center, and then all of a sudden then they all got captured. Like I don't know what the fuck happened with that. It seemed weird to me.
Yeah, no idea what the hell is happening. So the information is all very scarce. Then if anyone knows a lot more, you guys have to check their sources, or maybe they make things up. Like some of the things I say, is just based on my guess. Like I also do not know what the hell is happening. I can only like make some guesses. Like for example, I don't think the Ukrainians have the drones, which is why the Russians are not releasing any more geolocations in those like in the breakout zone, because that's just my theory. It's not a reality, but it's just like just what I think because of the way how things had happened. Like the Russians just enter into the zone so quickly, and it's the rear positions. I don't think the rear positions have the kind of drone surveillance units ready until the counter-offensive forces came. But then even the counter-offensive force that came, they are like they probably just draw whatever active combat capable troops from anywhere, and they just try to plug the hole. So in that sense, they may not also necessarily have all the equipments. So and the Russians clearly they have, which is why I think they are trying to maintain operational secrecy. But this, like, again, this is all my presumptions. So it's
So
top
why,
secret. No,
just
no one
a
knows.
question about troops and what you see in reports. What do you see of Ukrainian artillery nowadays? I remember back in 22, right? Seeing quite a few units getting taken out. For example, crossing over Seversky Donets River back in 22, and Russian units, these battalion size, getting hit by artillery, Ukrainian artillery, really accurate. Do you see any of that happening now in 25, or is it all just drones now?
I mean, there is some, but I mean, you can look at the videos of the Russian assaults. I mean, sometimes there's some scattered artillery or mortars. I think a lot of times they rely on the FPVs to try and blunt those moves. But I mean, you can definitely see a decline. And then, I mean, just watch the videos of an area that's being shaped. I mean, you can see how they methodically go in there and hit repeaters, mortars, those 2S9 Goskas that are hidden in the woods, or 777s or D30. There's a video I saw this morning. They smoked one of these armored vehicles that was towing a D30, and then they went, once they knocked the vehicle out, everybody left, went back and finished off the D30 that was still sitting there. I mean, I've seen them hit ammunition trucks. I mean, they could still hit stuff if they got somebody there and it's available. But the thing is with the amount the Russians have in the drones and the counter battery, it's like those few units they have, they got to make it count, because once they fire, they got to get up and move or they're done. And even if they have a gun hidden and all that, you've seen this bullshit where they pull the shelves over and all that, the lid. I mean, the computer still knows where that round came out. So even if those guys leave and go to a bunker, the chances are the gun or the ammunition might still get hit or damaged. So, I mean, unless they're mobile. But you've seen a lot of those videos. A lot of time they're in dugouts and they're camoed up. They're not really in a position to go move. So they're losing all those too. And then there was the other day, a couple of days ago, there was a report of a HIMARS that got smoked right up on the Russian border, which is stupid. Why would you put anything like that close? The only reason I could think of is they thought they were going to sneak up in there and maybe shell some village or city farther in. And who knows? I never heard if they got a shot off or not, but I saw them get pounded by, I think it was a ice scanner or something hit them. And, they lost the vehicle that I guess had some ammo, and then they lost the actual vehicle itself. And, I don't know if the crew guys got away, because I don't know if they had a warning that there was a fucking ice scanner coming. But, even if they survived, they still lost the vehicle and the ammo. And that kind of a weapon has a pretty wide fan. I mean, that's something you'd want to be using right now to stop shit around Pokrovsk or Kupiansk, because you can set it way back 10 or 15 kilometers, maybe hide it really well and pummel the Russians that are trying to get in there and stuff. Or if you know where they're at, hiding up in these areas around the north side of Kupiansk, you can start pounding them with cluster bombs or stuff. But they're not doing that because they just don't have it. I mean, that's the problem too. They're so low on artillery. There's so much counter battery. I mean, you got to figure too, the guys that are shooting artillery on either side that have been doing it for a while, they're probably really fucking good at figuring out how to drop the gun, shoot 3 rounds, get the fuck out of there way faster than the book ever said. Oh, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do this. Throw this down instead. Have Sergei over here stand on that, fire 3, get the fuck out of here, I mean, because that's the only way you're still alive at this point. Because think about it. Once you start shooting, there's a drone. Hell, there's a drone already cruising around somewhere before you even set up. You just hope that when you park and set up that the drone isn't in your area. But once you fire, it's like moths to the flame. Everything's coming. So you got to get out of there. But, yeah, I mean, the Ukrainians are hurt